Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of the Teacher Surgery Season 2. We are back. I'm really pleased to welcome our guest of teachers, and we have a really special guest, Maxwell D, with us today, who's going to be taking some questions with us. So I'm going to jump straight into the questions because the audience know, and if they're new, they know that we learn together and we take real and relatable questions that are from parents, young people and teachers like yourself, maybe entering the profession, who might need some more support, or even more experienced teachers that have shared questions. So I'm gonna get you guys to give me your thoughts on this question. My child is falling behind in school and is regularly the lowest in the class. How can I as a parent build their confidence?
Okay, I can answer it two ways. I can answer it the academic way, which would be, extra support at home, homework, less phones, less computers, Saturday school, there's extra support out there. But then on the other flip side, I will say, is that child really an academic child? Because I see a lot of parents are hoping big things for their children,
Sure.
But look at me. I didn't have the greatest grades. I got kicked out of many schools. So, I wish someone was there when I was older to say, look, it's all right if you're not getting these good grades. I couldn't focus, and there's millions of children out there that can't focus. So, is it a creative opportunity? Are they sports? Are they music? There's other things that, other than just the academic way. So to say their children are low in their grades, is it a big thing right now? No. But there's support out there.
Yeah.
That's what I would say. So I'm trying to answer it in two ways. Basically.
Danielle, what about you?
I think kind of what you were saying as well is also building up their confidence, showing them, okay, you might be the bottom in the class, but then if you're not the bottom in the class, someone else will be the bottom in the class. In anything you do, there's going to be a top and a bottom, but look at where their strengths are. I mean, I personally had one of my sons, he struggled through school, the other one was academically bright. He would compare himself to him, and I'm like, it's different. If I asked you to fix the TV, you would go and fix it. Google, done. He'd rather write me a 3,000 word essay on it. So it's looking at where the two children are different. But admittedly as a parent, when it did come to the GCSEs for the English and the maths, I did get my son a private tutor. So he had that one-to-one. He has dyslexia, so I made sure they were dyslexia specialists and they was able to work with him and help build him down. It wasn't to make him the best, but it was to give him a fair chance of what he deserved with his results. Yeah. And he worked well with that. But yeah, it is finding their other strengths, but finding a way of giving them confidence with what they're struggling in.
What I was going to say is, what do we do for the parents that can't afford extra tutor time? The parents that are stuck.
Because it's like £40 an hour, £50 an hour it can be, right?
Some of them can't feed their children, let's be honest. There's meals deals out there for them. I'm just saying.
No, it is, and that's what I'm saying, that's where it becomes a lot harder.
Yeah.
But then I think if you are able to support your child yourself, sit with your child, break it down and learn it with them. There's a lot of stuff on YouTube, there's lots of sites out there where you can help. Seneca Learning.
There are extra classes
I was going to
well.
say, yeah, but sometimes they don't want to go to them, but I'm saying Seneca Learning is a free online learning site, and a parent can sit with their child and learn with them, showing the struggles they also have and trying to work it together.
I believe so.
Nasha and Hakeem, what about you guys?
I mean, I was just thinking, it just, when you use the term, the lowest in the class, and it just takes me back to, because I was schooled in England, and then I went over to, schooled in Africa. And one of the things that they used to do, which was kind of detrimental to me, was that they would put, if like in the maths lesson, if you were the lowest in the class, they'd put it up on the wall. So they'd put the top 10, who were the most, who had got the best results, and the bottom 10. And you can imagine, I was always in the bottom 10 because I was terrible at maths. And so that just completely knocked my confidence. I had no confidence when it came to maths. And as an adult, maths haunted me. And even when I was doing my training as, to be a teacher, you have to have English and maths. And when I was at college, I repeated my maths 3 times. Oh, wow. I eventually got a C. But it haunted me throughout because of that experience of everyone always going, math and there is on the, you're at the bottom of the class again for maths, even though I was like the top for English, but it really affected me. So I think we have to be careful when we are looking at that and using that term, the lowest. I wouldn't make that in your classroom. I don't think you should even be mentioning that you are the lowest in the group or you're the lowest. I don't think that's a good... I
don't think many teachers do that.
Yeah.
They just hand the papers back, but it's then discussions amongst friends where
no,
it comes
from. In some mainstream
some
schools,
of
the teachers
they
do
have
say,
score sheets, innit?
and they say you are the lowest in the class.
That's what the question's asking.
Sorry to cut you. I'll say to my son, he'll say to me, Dad, I got a science test, I got a history test and whatever, and I'll be like, oh, okay, as long as you try your best, I'm gonna be happy. That's it. I'm letting him know that whatever you get, I'm gonna be happy as long as you try to give it your best. That's it, that's all I need from you. I don't care if you got 10 out of 30. I just wanna know that because there's gonna be subjects that they're gonna get stuck with. They're not gonna be brain boxes unless you got a brain box student like in your hands, like, yeah, my kid just loves it. So my son, when he come back and he was like, yeah, Dad, I got 40 out of blah, blah, blah. And then, as a boy in my class, he got higher than me because he got 50. So how do they know that information? That information's on the school papers. So when you're saying the lowest and that, maybe there might be a better way of putting things, or scoring these kids in exams and stuff like that and giving it to them privately, maybe? I don't know.
Because the question's relating to the child's confidence. So obviously that, for me, took me through adulthood, not being confident with maths. So these are the things that can, if I think the emphasis on a child, even sometimes being in the lowest sets, and then, gosh, if you're in the lowest set and then you are the kid who's getting the lowest grades, how's that going to make you feel how's your confidence going to feel? So I don't know.
You know what, I agree with most of the things that have been said there, but I do disagree slightly, and here's where. It's a question for parents, this question I perceive, it's a question for parents. So our job is quite like Maxwell said, is basically give the child the growth mindset. It's not about you striving to be something in the future, it's about you focusing on where you are now, giving it your best shot, seeing where you are, and then building on that. You're right. For me, the world is full of competition. You are judged every day. You go for a job and you were told wherever you get. So that part of it is not so much issue because you're going to have to face that, and resilience is a big part of learning how to grow up. However, as a parent, my job is to instill in the child that, you know what, I love you for being you. What you do, as long as you try your best, I'm delighted. If your best is 10 out of 30 and you get that, that's an A. Come here, I'll give you a big hug and cuddle and say, well done.
Can I interject on that?
I'm just because the question said, my child is regularly at the lowest of the class. That implies possibly some academic limitation. Yeah? But does that mean they're failing? I don't think so.
But what I was going to say on that, as you were talking, but think about, us coming from, especially some of us who come from African cultures, Asian culture, you can't come to the house and say, I am number 3 or 4. You have to come and say, I am number 1 in the class. I am number 2. It depends on the household.
No, you're right, but
but mainly,
100%. That doesn't make it right.
There's
100%.
people that's committed suicide because they didn't get into university. There's people
100%.
that are just like,
I don't agree with that.
Said, you know what, forget it. My parents think I'm going to be a brain box, not I'm going to go and do food. Forget it. I'm going to.
Or they are a brain box, but they do food.
It's a whole different story. So I think we have to be very careful because I think a lot of the stuff that we've learned from our parents and our culture, we got to unlearn it because we're stressed.
Yeah, that is, but that is the stress. That is the stress for a lot of children, especially if they are, like I said, of a particular background. Their parents are not having it. They don't understand, and sometimes it's because they're thinking, I came in 1980 or 19 such and such, and I had to work and do this and this and this, and didn't have anything given to me, and so you have all the opportunity, so you have to be you have to be brilliant in school, brilliant in university, and you have to be, what are the 3 occupations? Doctor, accountant, or lawyer, right? And if you're none of those, so that pressure, and I agree with you, has to stop, especially within our culture, I think.
Yeah, but I do think it is stopping. I can only speak from personal experience amongst me and my peers. We don't raise our children like that.
Which is good.
Yes, you're right. However, you are absolutely right in saying that is how we grew up. Maxwell is absolutely also correct in saying that we need to break that cycle. Yeah. Because I agree with my mum telling me, 100, you need to read your book, read your book, read your book. That mum can go and read your book. You know what I mean? And listen.
It's like in any situation, you will rebel. Yeah. Like no one wants to be no human being wants to be force-fed with anything. No matter who you are, kid, child, adult, like it has to be organic. You know, and some kids want to learn and some kids just don't want to learn.
And there's different ways of learning, absolutely
exactly,
right.
So we have to kind of find how to gauge. Every kid is special in every way. So you could have a Usain Bolt, no grades, but is Usain Bolt. What are you going to say now?
But you know what, some parents would still say, but you never went to university. They will still say,
they might drop that in a family
You're
house party
millions.
or something. Like, you know that?
Or you would get someone say, but what happens if he was to wear his legs? Then he wouldn't have a job. Where would he go that way?
Our parents will typically say that. They'll be throwing it at us all the time. But this is what I'm saying. Like, does it define you because your grades are low in life of a person, of who you can become? He's an athlete, fair enough. But there are people that might study later. You would never think there's going to be a doctor, and now they're like master's degree because in the adult life they just soaked it in differently from as a child. Not everyone, some people are late bloomers, you know what I'm saying? So not kids.
Do you know what? I would even get deep with the question and saying, it's that kind of pressure that is forcing year 6 children to become stressed at taking SATs. What the hell?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know, I've told my children from day dot, listen, SATs, I'm in an educational background, but I don't care. Yeah? It's not gonna help you get a job. It's not gonna even help you get into secondary school. Do your best, wherever you're at is where you're at. And we'll work on it as you get older.
I think it just, as long as you see your child is trying, then it's just encouraging them, supporting them. And then saying, okay, but you're good at this.
And nurturing those things that they are good at.
It's when you see a child of your own that is not trying, sitting on the Xbox, the consoles, don't want to learn, that's when you have to intervene in a different way, regardless of the background culture. I think it's seeing a kid trying is a different way of encouraging than to see a kid sitting there, I don't want to revise, I don't want to do this. And I think that's where you've got to differentiate from the different and look at it differently from a parent of how do I approach this.
I think I was going to say quickly that if we kind of teach our kids to kind of just master the basics, which is the English, the maths, meaning the reading, obviously they need to learn how to read and learn how to write and adding up. I think all the other stuff that we fill our curriculum with is what's stressing them. Like, I mean, yeah, we want some scientists out here. Yeah, we do want, like, you know, geography. Like, yeah, great. I'm not saying that this is not gonna help this kid in the system, but I'm saying they need the real life skills is what we're not teaching these kids in school. Like, really, can you cook? You know, I know they got economic, what do they call it now?
Economics. I don't know if that's the right term. I don't know.
But we need to really, like, they need to learn how to manage monthly budgets. Like, I think the math stuff, when they start throwing in all these equations, they lose the kids. You lose the kids because you're not giving them real life situations, and they are gonna grow up in the world into real life situations. And I think that's what we need to teach our kids, the basics. So do you have to get like all of these tick, 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 tick? No. You know, as long as you cover the little tiny basics, I'm happy because I can always apply that in the real world. You can always get more of that in the real world. You can always get it at a later date. It's not, you know, you have to be a brain box now.
I always talk
What I'm
about the
trying to say.
meat in the sandwich. Like he's saying, you have the top layer of bread, they're gonna succeed no matter what, yeah? They're educationally minded, their background is driven towards that success, and they're good to go. You have the bottom layer of bread that are not academically minded, or the societal pressures on them are so great that it's almost impossible for them to succeed. But the majority are there in the middle. And all of us there in the middle are supposed to be saying, do you know what? You can be more than you are. Do your best. Doesn't matter where you are, failing, last, bottom. Do your best and you can achieve and aspire and go move forward. Whether they get there or not is life. You just don't know. But our job as parents is to not be focusing on the fact that they are failing now or that they are at the bottom now, but on how we can encourage them to see that this is just a small moment in their life, and they're going to progress moving forward.
I'm gonna stop you there because I love the passion, but I'm gonna stop you there. I love it. I really do love it, and I know there's always so much conversation we can have, but we have to come to our bonus second questions. I know.
I was really enjoying that.
I know. I'm really sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna let Maxwell pick our question and then read it out for our lovely panelists. He's trying to peek.
Stay away from pink. My child, wait, let me just soak this in. My child has homework every week. Okay.
Every week.
I do not agree with this. Okay. Should my child be penalized for not completing the homework? All right. You sent your child to the school, didn't you? Mm-hmm. So you got to apply by the school rules. Mm-hmm. So that means if there's homework, it needs to be complete. Mm-hmm. On the other hand, is your children struggling with the homework? Do they need support with the homework? If that's the case and you feel pressured as a parent, then you need to, seek some help, go into school, take measures and find out what's going on. Should your child get penalised? If they don't get penalised, then what is it? Then no one does the homework, there's no one gives in nothing, and we just all run riot. So then what happens next? Nothing. Yeah. So then your child gets behind. Then you're going to be switching on the school for your child being behind. So complete your homework, please. Yes. So yes, thank you very much.
Complete your homework, please.
No, help.
But what used to frustrate me, you'd sit with the child, you'd do the homework, you'd make them understand, but where's the feedback?
From
the teacher.
Oh yeah.
You hand in the homework, you get
on
nothing.
time.
On time.
That's this public system. There's 30 kids. It's a lot to give feedback. It's a lot of feedback.
Back. So if you was to give feedback, at least then the parent knows as well, and that's where I think.
But that's a rabbit hole because this one parent wants to pull you, this parent wants to pull you, that parent wants to pull you. Before you know, you got how much time can you give? Like your child could be like, my child's doing the homework, he's struggling, such and such. Are you like, okay, cool, he needs to do a bit more of this, he needs to do a bit more of that. And then another parent's saying the same thing. You got to do that for a lot of different children.
Yeah, but if they've all got the same homework and you're marking the same sheet of paper, then the same sheet of paper is going home in the homework book and the teacher can see the feedback and the parent can see the feedback.
There should be ways of doing it.
No, you should definitely, I mean...
What I'm saying, primary school you do get the feedback, but in secondary school they do the homework, you hand it in, you never see it or hear anything from again unless it's on a platform where it's getting marked.
Okay,
I see what you're saying.
And I just feel homework, if it's got a purpose, the purpose has to be the feedback as well. If you're not getting the feedback, how do you know where you're going wrong?
You definitely need feedback because I remember one of my friends, she was given homework every day. It wasn't even once a week. It was it was every day.
Yeah,
and this teacher,
at the beginning,
this particular teacher was photocopying sheets, for the wrong class. Oh. No, seriously. She was in year 5. The teacher was photocopying, year 4, photocopying year 6 work, never once marked. But the parent, my friend, realised, hold on a minute, all this work that you've been doing, all this homework you've been doing, it's never been marked. And then she started to question and say, what book is this from? And it turns out it was from a year 6 book. And this woman was just regularly, so she went in and spoke to this teacher and said, what's going on here? You're not even you're not even doing work, you're not giving homework for
age appropriate.
Age appropriate. And she couldn't believe it because apparently the rest of the parents, they never even looked at the homework, so they didn't know what their child was doing. So yes, I definitely agree. You can't just tell a kid, go and do your homework, and then you don't mark it. There's no feedback.
It's no
you don't, because it's
purpose.
part of classwork.
But
They're combined together.
What schools don't give feedback? Because I would like to know. Because I'm sure that's the standard.
No, now
We
I
won't
don't.
highlight the schools on camera, but
Yeah,
it's
because-
quite,
I'm listening to it. And I'm
Particular
like,
boroughs.
I'm listening to it, but I'm thinking when my son gets homework, yeah, he definitely gets feedback.
Is he
Like,
secondary or primary?
He's secondary.
Yeah, but there are some teachers who do not
Yeah,
give
they're
any
not like
that.
feedback, or
I-
just put
I
a
check it.
tick on the homework, a
Well,
tick in green.
I don't think me and his mum would allow that to just be running like that. Like, would be
And that's
checking
what
up.
I'm saying to them. Why do your
Parents
kids
then
do the
get-
You see what I'm
homework?
saying?
If the feedback's not coming back, would you then make your kid do the homework? Because
We wouldn't get that far. We wouldn't get that far. I would have been onto it straight away. I'd have been like, loads of homework, and then I would want to follow up. Like, okay, if I see my kid working at homework, and my kid's looking stressed, yeah, I'm gonna be like, so what were they saying? How you getting on? You know, what's the situation? Furthermore, why are you getting homework every day? That's me and my inquisitive brain anyway. I want to know why you're getting, because that's stress for my life. Because I'm gonna have to help you. So I want to know why you're getting all this work. And then so that's where we have that conversation, and then I have the conversation with the school. Then I'm just double checking. Okay, he's getting maths, this, that. All right, can you slow down? He's getting a bit overwhelmed. We're just gonna conquer this, and then we'll get back to you.
But it seems like
sorry.
also,
That's
yeah,
the only way I can see it.
it also seems like in this question it says, should my child be penalised for not completing their homework? So it almost seems like the parent, you know, my child has homework, I don't agree with this. So it's like the parent's actually saying, you know what,
And once a
you've
week
got
is not
homework,
a lot,
I don't want
is
you to do it.
That's not a lot.
Yeah, she don't. This person sounds like they're not interested in.
It could be a he or a she.
Can I say, I will, on a personal level, I got oldest in uni, so it don't really count no more. I got 2 in primary. Every week they get homework, every week they must do it without fail. However, when they get homework in the holidays, I don't care. I won't even lie to you. I say to them, do you know what? Do it, don't do it. I'm not business, it's your holiday. Because you're in the holidays.
You gotta give them a break.
The
You
child
gotta-
has done 6 weeks, a half term, or
Gotta give them
whatever
a break.
of school, getting homework every single week and done it diligently. And now when they want a break, because us teachers, we know what the half term is like, that Easter, right. So no, I tell my child, you know what? You do it, you don't do it, I'm not bothered. But I will tell you something, there is no consequence. There is no consequence. So the teacher that set the homework, whether he brings
the
it in
6 weeks
on
holiday half,
6
alright.
weeks or Easter is normally a bigger holiday. But I'm telling you now, whenever we have not done the project, whatever it may be, and we do it, but whenever we have not done it, there is no consequence. Which leads me again to be, you're just setting it out of routine. You're not actually trying to encourage that child to, and that's
what
the
it is,
mental.
no purpose. If there's no
There you
purpose,
go.
then you agree.
It's supposed to be about helping the child move forward, educate. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I
Really
love the
good.
passion,
That's perfect.
enthusiasm.
Absolutely.
I love it. I wish we could talk forever, but we cannot, unfortunately. Thank you guys. I really
No,
appreciate
no
it.
problem.
Maxwell,
Thank you for having me.
inspirational, and I love
Thank
it.
you guys.
To
Love,
everybody.
love.
Thank you.
It's spudding.
Everyone's budding now. I don't know. He might be a teacher for a surgery signature. Everyone has to spud at the end of each episode.
If you've done the teacher's staff room, it'll be a whole different.
No. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Exactly.
We're not going there. Guys, thank you for tuning in. And as always, like, subscribe and follow and share. Keep the conversation going. And we will see you all next week. Thank you.